So we're going to find a second method for solving triangles that are non-right triangles. So SOHCAHTOA only works on right triangles. Law of sines only works when there's one unknown. So if I look at this triangle here, it asks me to find angle B. No matter how I set this up, I would have two unknowns, and they both would be angles in this case. So we have to come up with another method of finding this angle that is not the right triangle or the law of cosine, or excuse me, law of sine. So the law of cosine actually came from taking a non-right triangle, dividing it into two right triangles, and they both share this side. And so some algebra was done, and essentially here's what happened. They came up with this, a squared, notice it's lowercase a, so it's the side, equals b squared plus c squared. That certainly looks like Pythagorean, but then there is more to it. It's minus 2bc, where b and c are the sides, and they call it the law of cosine because there's the cosine, and notice it's angle A. And so what if I wasn't looking for side A and I was looking for side B? So we're going to look at a pattern here. It looks like it's the three sides squared. So this is b squared, so this must be a squared plus c squared, minus, this is going to be a 2bc, this is going to be 2ac, cosine of angle B. And lastly, if I was looking for side C, it would be the two sides squared, and there's no reason to memorize this, okay? You'll get to use it, you'll have your formula sheet, you're just going to need to be able to use it, and don't forget your squared on the C, because it's kind of like Pythagorean. So I'm asked to find angle B. So it looks like I'm going to use this part of the law of cosine. There are three versions. The one I need is the one that deals with angle B. So notice a couple things about a triangle. We're just going to kind of rehash this. The angle measures are capital letters. The sides are lowercase, and they're opposite. So B, angle B opens up side B. Angle A opens up side A. And angle C opens up side C. So those are all lowercase letters. So I'm going to plug it in. So I'm just going to do this thing called substitution. It says b squared equals a squared plus c squared, and c is 6, minus 2 ac, so a and c are both 6, cosine of angle B. So I only have one unknown in my formula, so we're going to have to learn how to solve for that. So I'm going to go ahead and square these out. 6 times 6 is 36, double it, and I get 72. And right here, I think I can add those two up. It's also 72. That's not always going to be the case. And here's where some algebra mistakes happen. The first thing you need to do, a lot of people take 72 minus 72, but you can't because this is multiplied by the cosine of B. So I'm going to subtract 72 from both sides. And I have a little calculator here so I don't make an error. You should have yours as well. You're going to need it. So it's negative 47 equals, that 72 is gone, but this 72 is still here. To isolate, I'm going to divide by negative 72. And I get 0.6527, etc. equals cosine of B. So to undo this cosine, you're going to need to remember this key that you used with right triangle trig. And this key right here, it's going to look like cosine with a little negative 1. We'll say, given me the value, which is the x-coordinate off the unit circle, can you find me the angle measure that produced that? And I'm going to round this a little bit. Oop, I want a 2 in there. And it looks like the angle measure is about 49 degrees. How do I know it's degrees? Well, make sure your mode puts you in degree mode before you start. So you'll need a calculator for trig functions. Let's try the next one. The next one says find side C, so I'm looking for this. So looking at the formulas, I'm going to use this one because it deals with side C. So C squared equals A squared. I'm going to square it right now. Plus B squared, I can square that, minus 2, 11 times 5 times cosine of 20 degrees. Now, this is pretty much all done for you. You don't have to do any solving. You can plug this into your calculator just as it looks. So I'm going to do that. So it says that I have 121 plus 25 minus, I'm going to put this together. That's 55. Double 55 is 110. And then multiply it by the cosine of 20. And I know that I'm in degrees. And when I hit this, I get 42. So c squared is equal to 42. Obviously, it's going to have to be smaller. So to undo the square, I take the square root of 42. Again, I'm just going to round that. And I get a side of about 6.4. That looks to be reasonable. Okay, I can see that angle C is much smaller than angle A. So you want to kind of look to see if your values match. So this section is just being able to use the law of cosine in order to find angles and sides when the law of sine or Pythagorean SOHCAHTOA on a right triangle won't work.